The Blackhawks are in Minnesota to take on the Wild, and they have their moms and mentors with them. Hopefully, they put on a show and get a win for the moms and mentors. Join us on the CHGO Blackhawks pregame show coming up next. Welcome in to the CHGO Blackhawks pregame show presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use the code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I'm Mario Tirabassi. This is the CHGO Blackhawks pregame show. It's never ordinary at Bet365, and this will be no ordinary pregame show because I'm by myself. Jay is at 670 The Score with the Terry Boers celebration of life today. So he will be back on the post-game show as normal, but I'm here. Chloe's here. We are ready for the Wild and Blackhawks. I'm ready for a win. Are you?
I'm ready.
I'm hopeful for a win.
I'm ready to watch Quinn Hughes. So I feel like I haven't watched him play much.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, so I'm excited.
Yeah, Quinn Hughes. He's pretty good, and he has a knack for taking it to the Hawks, so we'll see if that continues tonight. Hopefully not. The last time I did a pregame show by myself, Seth Jones was traded moments before the pregame show started. So as of right now, I don't think Seth Jones has been traded again, so we won't have to do that, but I don't think any trades are going to happen while the Blackhawks have all their moms and mentors with them either. But they did send down Nick Lardis, so anything can happen. Blackhawks and Wild tonight. Here's a stat for you. The Wild come into tonight's game with a 16-0-1 record against the Blackhawks in their last 17 meetings. The last time the Blackhawks beat the Wild in regulation was, Chloe, do you have a guess? Do you think it was pre-COVID?
Yes.
It was. December 15th.
That kind of gave it away, but yes.
December 15th, 2019, the Blackhawks beat the Wild. In regulation, the game was a 5-3 final. Here's a note for you from that game. Patrick Kane, remember him? He scored a hat trick in that game, and Jonathan Toews, remember him as well? He assisted on each one of those 3 goals for Kane in that game. And not only was Connor Murphy playing in that game and is playing it tonight, but Ryan Donato was also playing in that game and is playing tonight, but he was on the wrong end of that result. He was on the Minnesota Wild at that time. So hopefully the Blackhawks can maybe repeat that result tonight. They need it. They would like to continue to have these games matter deep into the season, much deeper than they have in the last few years. I know a bigger story is coming out from Kalen Lumpkins with the Chicago. Is he? No, he's not Sun-Times. That's Ben. But Kalen will be coming out with the story Tribune. He's with the Tribune, where he talked to Kyle Davidson one-on-one. He got that opportunity, and one of the things that he talked about with Kyle is the fact that they're playing or set up to play more significant games longer into the season, and that's a positive thing. So. Check out that when that comes out from Kalen. I know he's doing some great work. That'll be interesting to see what Kyle has to say about that. And we'll see what the Blackhawks have to say about that as they continue this season as we inch closer to the Olympic break. And then after that, the trade deadline where they are still within arm's reach of the wild card, even though that's not necessarily their goal. It's not unattainable mathematically at this point. So to get us primed for tonight's game, let's hear from Blackhawks head coach Jeff Blashill. He spoke to the media after this morning's optional morning skate.
So you saddled the moms with Minnesota and Pittsburgh in late January. Why do you not like them?
Actually, I think these are beautiful cities, and I enjoy. I think winter is a wonderful time of year. Honestly, these trips are hard now, especially because there's only so many days you're allowed, and so it becomes a real difficult thing. And trade deadline early in the year, all that stuff. There honestly wasn't many different opportunities.
You talked about.
But I do think these are great cities. And I was born in Sault Ste. Marie, so I like the cold. Yeah.
You talked about working with Artie on his shot. Have you seen any dividends with that yet?
I think that's something that's going to be like all the way through the summer. Mm-hmm. He still has a good shot because he's so strong. And, like the one he released the other day, it was amazing that he's able to do what he does with his technique because his bottom hand is so strong. But he released one in practice yesterday that was, pretty legit. So I just think it's something that those things aren't instant kind of gratification things. It takes a while, and you just got to keep working on it.
With him on the top power play unit, you've talked about the power play struggles lately. Mm-hmm. Is there something from him specifically you'd like to see differently?
I wouldn't say. I think probably everybody has different share in the responsibility of it not being good enough. I certainly wouldn't pin it on any one guy, and certainly wouldn't pin it on Artie. Mm-hmm. I think he's done a pretty good job in the zone of distributing the puck, and I think our breakouts probably haven't been good enough lately, and he's one of the 5 guys out there, but I wouldn't pin it on one guy.
I feel like we've always talked about Wyatt Kaiser in relation to Levshunov, but how have you seen his own play develop over the
years? Yeah, you know what, he's I would say Wyatt's playing his best hockey of the year right now. I think he's done a really good job with his level of consistency. I think one of the things that Wyatt and I have talked a lot about is he is knowing when to make a play and when to, what I call live another day, which is basically there's times to punt. It would be like a quarterback not forcing an interception. You just throw it away at that point. And I think that hurt him at times in terms of chances against that we didn't need to give up. And I think he's learning that because we want him to do things like he did the other night where he was able to get the puck, kind of walk a guy, feed Mickey feeds Bert, and we score a goal. So we want him to do those kind of things, just looking for the right opportunities to do it. But his game, I think, is elevated here in the last little bit.
He's got that real quick twitch, too, where if he makes a mistake or someone around him does, he can erase it just with a couple of quick strides.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and he's a really good skater that way, and he is quick, not just fast but quick. And so, he's listen. Again, I got to always remind myself of how young a number of these guys are, and he's included in that. And so I just, as I said to our team, I think our ceiling, even through the course of the year, is one of the few teams in the league that can continue to rise because of the fact the growth of our players can continue to rise.
In that same vein, it seems like Oliver Moore emerging as a center really gives you a lot more options. Like you couldn't have moved Nazar to the wing with Bedard if he hadn't done that. Right,
probably, yeah. There's probably truth to that. Maybe Greener. But he's another good option there. And I didn't. It's hard to say whether it's a position-specific thing, when he's played really well and when he hasn't, because I haven't seen a big enough sample size of both. But there's definitely, I think there's parts of his skill set that, make him look like a potential long-term center. And part of that, too, is, learning to check low and his skating ability and his tenacity, I think, can allow that, even though he's not, 6'4". And so that, I think if he can continue to learn those types of things, playing against guys, like some of the really good players he's going to play against tonight, the Kaprizovs, the Boldies down low, though that's a great experience for him.
We talked about things you learned as a coach in Tampa. Now that we're 2/3 of the way through this year, is there anything you've learned this year as a coach that you've learned to do differently or do better or anything like that?
I haven't really self-reflected on that, to be dead honest with you. You're kind of in the year, I think.
Ask again later.
Yeah. Ask me 4 years from now. So it just isn't something I've really self-reflected on. I think when you all the experiences, not just Tampa, the experiences in Detroit, all those experiences, for me personally, have helped me. just allowed better perspective in situations, and I think that's what you gain through experience is perspective, and it's given me continued better perspective, I guess I'd say.
Will you be able to unplug during the Olympic break, or are you going to be working the whole
time? No, I'll be able to unplug, but my wife will be telling me to work, so it'll be a combo of sometimes I have lots of ideas of how the household should be run once the season's over, and she doesn't really enjoy that. So we'll, but I'll be able to. I'm going back to Tampa. My family's still there, so I'm going back there for a little bit. Hopefully we get a lot of sunshine, but I'll do some work too.
I see some young guys in Tampa, but mostly a veteran group. Like, what's that transition been like with so many young guys here in terms of how you coach them, how do you get accountability out of everybody?
Yeah, it's a different group, and it's kind of different. There's probably things in place in Tampa or things that probably Coop had to do, at the earlier stages that we've had to do here, and it's kind of different in terms of that. I would say I've really enjoyed the energy level of this young group. Not to say that there wasn't good energy in Tampa, because that's not true, but it is they're just young. They come to the rink, they have fun. It's a fun group to be a part of.
You mentioned Kaprizov and Boldy. Kaprizov, what do you appreciate most about his game when you watch him?
I've always thought for such a high-skilled player how hard he works to win pucks, and I think that's what really separates him. He's a very, very high-skilled player, but I think the great ones win pucks, and he works very, very hard, and so it's just been something, and I think that kind of filters down to the rest of the team, and so definitely it allows him to be a true difference maker in this league.
There he is. Blackhawks head coach Jeff Blashill. Good to end the little media scrum there with a couple of notes about the Wild. Some interesting things to keep an eye on with Minnesota on their side in tonight's game. Kirill Kaprizov, you've heard of him. He comes into tonight with a 5-game point streak. In all 5 of those games, he's had multi-points in each one of the last 5 games for him. So Blackhawks are going to have their hands full with him. Another guy that they're going to have their hands full with is Quinn Hughes. We talked about him a little bit earlier. He's also on a 5-game point streak as well. He has 9 points over his last 5 games as he continues to get ready for the Olympics. And another interesting note, tonight's starter for the Wild, Jesper Wallstedt, his name is now popping up in some trade rumors. Elliot Friedman on yesterday's 32 Thoughts podcast had mentioned that the Wild are trying to continue to go all in this season after Bill Guerin went out and acquired Quinn Hughes. Sounds like young goaltender Jesper Wallstedt could be out there in discussions as the Wild look for help in the top 6. So be interesting to see how he plays tonight against the Blackhawks. And we now have the lines for who the Wild will have to take on tonight in the Blackhawks. They are, as we expected, and we saw them in practice. It is Frank Nazar with Connor Bedard and Teuvo Teravainen left to right on the top line. Ryan Green, centered by Oliver Moore and Andre Burakovsky. That's going to be your second line. Tyler Bertuzzi, centered by Jason Dickinson with Ilya Mikheyev, is your third line. Your fourth forward line is Ryan Donato, centered by Nick Foligno and Landon Slaggert. Defensively, no changes, as there haven't been in a long time. Alex Vlasic and Louis Crevier is your top pair. Wyatt Kaiser and Artem Levshinov is your second pair. Your third pair is Matt Grzelcyk and Connor Murphy. Your goalie tonight is Spencer Knight. And Nick Foligno is taking on his brother Marcus Foligno on the other side with the Wild. It's another one of the Foligno face-off games as they continue to raise money for cancer research and awareness. So there's a lot of outlets to donate. So if you feel like you want to do that as part of tonight's game, you can either choose Team Marcus or Team Nick. I think if you're watching this, I don't know why you wouldn't choose Team Nick, friend of the program.
Did you see what the Hawks put out?
Yeah,
Twitter?
where all the guys are wearing the shirts and everything.
Not that, but then, I mean, it makes sense, but the fact that his mom's there and got to travel and see his brother, and then they took a picture with her on the ice, and she's wearing her Hockey Fights Cancer jersey. Yeah,
the Wild put out a video earlier today of Marcus going into the locker room and putting some Team Marcus gear on, I think it was Foligno's locker, and then he also put a sticker in Tyler Bertuzzi's helmet. So that was some good fun there. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of connections in tonight's game. Obviously the Foligno brothers are facing off against each other. You also got Wyatt Kaiser, is a Minnesota guy. He's going to be playing in front of a lot of family. I know, again, the Blackhawks have their moms and mentors with them. Another guy who's going to have a ton of family watching tonight is Oliver Moore. He's been of note in Blackhawks land for a while now. He's been a guy that's been driving a lot of conversation both on and off the ice. He talked to the media today after the morning skate, had a couple things to say about how many people he's had to get tickets for and what he's looking forward to in tonight's game. So let's hear from young Oliver.
You obviously talked about doing well at center, moved back to wing, and then now back to center again. Do you feel like it's, you've earned this opportunity to keep playing it even with a bunch of centers back in the lineup?
I mean, I think that's just like where I've been most comfortable. I think, I mean, when I've been at center, I've been my best this season so far. And I mean, I think that's where I can help the team win the most right now, and I think that's what he sees. So I think wherever, you just try to make an impact, but hopefully I can do a good job tonight of that.
Seems like a vote of confidence from the coaching staff, too, that they put Frank over in the wing and keeping you at center.
Yeah, I don't know if I look at it that way. I think that what Blash tries to do is just put the lineup in that's going to help us win every night, and tries to organize it that way. I mean, Frank's going to play center and low forward with Beds, too, and they'll switch off and stuff like that. So I don't know if I see it like that as much, but yeah, I'm just going to try to do the best with what I'm given.
What's the advantage of having so many centers on the team, like even on the wing, like having 2 centers per line?
Yeah, thinking about that tonight, I mean, obviously Greener's been awesome in the face-off dot, and I think if you can get a little bit more confidence maybe, just like if you're going to get kicked out, there's going to be a guy coming in that's just as likely to win it. So I think that also just him being a righty and just the righty-lefty combinations, having him centers take him on both sides of the ice, that's always nice. I mean, you don't have to worry about any of that, but yeah, it's a luxury for sure.
Is this your first game here, or were you here before?
I played preseason, but yeah. I was just telling I didn't really know I was playing until like 12 o'clock the night before, so it wasn't really an opportunity to get people in the building, so it'll be fun to have like a bunch of family and friends and stuff. Obviously played a trio on the prospect showcase too, but this is a little bigger, so it'll be fun.
How many people do you have here?
I think my dad bought tickets for like 50 people or something like that.
Jeez.
And then my girlfriend's family, I think she said is 15, and then obviously like friends from college and stuff coming too. I mean, it should be a good outing of more supporters tonight.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
Had you ever played here before the preseason game?
No. Honestly, I think actually in college twice we played here, but it was like, yeah, it's not the stage as this obviously, but it was still cool.
How's your wound, your gash doing?
I mean, it's no scab anymore. It's feeling good. It's feeling great, honestly. I mean, that's like the weirdest thing is like that I didn't really sustain any big time injuries from that, which is huge. So I mean, no, it feels good. Everything feels good.
That's why you're not supposed to be doing that. You break your hand, you break your head.
No, you don't want to be doing that often. Yeah. And if you do, just like try to pick a better guy, maybe. But yeah, I don't know.
Did you hear from people after that? That was pretty viral on social media.
Yeah, I actually kind of did. It was shocking. Like I think I got like 6 happy birthday texts, and then after the game, it was like a clump of happy birthday texts, and then also the good job getting in there kind of thing. So, no, yeah, I mean that was a special day, but no, it definitely kind of went viral. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
What is this?
This is the combination of it being your 21st birthday and everything.
I think so.
And you scored the winner in the shootout. It was just too good.
I don't know if that helped me or hurt me. But no, it's obviously a help, but that was fun.
You're welcome, Oliver Moore, for that viral moment.
I was just thinking that. Like, do you think that that's something that he pays attention to?
Oh, there's players and family members and friends of players that are well aware of what we do here at CHGO. So that's been a thing that we've found. I talked to Oliver a couple of weeks ago when he first showed up and was called up, and I think I was asking him about I think it was the Bears Packers game that they won in the overtime game. And I was just like, oh, did you guys see the game or whatever? Because I think it was like the day after or something. And he was talking about it, and he was just like, oh yeah, you guys with CHGO cover all the teams and stuff. And I was just like, oh yeah. So he's aware of us. So I wouldn't be surprised if across his timeline or someone sent him something that that we had produced maybe. But yeah, it's great to see Oliver Moore getting healthy after that fight. His face is looking a lot better, which is good. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, how much opportunity he gets at center as the team continues to get healthier. The new lineup configuration with Nazar out of the center spot, technically, with him playing with Connor Bedard, that gives an opportunity to Oliver Moore. And I think with his game, like it is really effective down the middle. The speed that he has both at both ends of the ice can make him really a dangerous weapon offensively. Can make him really effective defensively, as well as a guy that can kind of hunt down pucks and really go and retrieve pucks and be able to play, just be a pest with that speed at both ends of the ice, and also playing the center position. Oliver Moore hasn't done a bad job with not only his assignments but also faceoffs. Like you can put how much weight you want to into faceoff wins and losses over the course of a year. How many does a handful here or there make a difference? But I think it's interesting to note that Oliver Moore, out of 7 Blackhawks that have had over 100 faceoffs taken this season, that includes Oliver Moore, Ryan Donato, Frank Nazar, Nick Foligno, Jason Dickinson, Ryan Green, and Connor Bedard. Moore has the best faceoff percentage at 51%. So he's been winning faceoffs, which is good to see. And it's just part of the game at the center position. And I think so far he's been doing pretty well at it. And the Blackhawks as a team, faceoff percentage hasn't been great for them the last handful of years, specifically with Connor Bedard. That's been a big narrative. But out of those 7 guys who have all taken over 100 faceoffs, the worst out of the 7 has been Frank Nazar. He's at 45% though. And I think if you go back to the last couple of seasons, 45% for an individual is actually not that bad for the Blackhawks, and that's kind of where they were. I think Bedard's rookie year, their team face-off percentage was about 45%, if I'm not mistaken. But with Moore and with Nazar, like those are guys that you're going to want to pay attention to tonight, and obviously with Frank coming back from the injury, he hasn't really been able to jump off the page so quickly as you'd want him to, but I think he's still, without getting on the score sheet, he's still playing an effective game. Mentioning faceoffs, Ben Pope pointed out that in his 3 games back since coming back from the broken jaw, he's 24 of 36 on faceoffs. So quick math, that is 66.7%. So that's great. 2 out of every 3 draws is could get you into the Hall of Fame. Not that I expect Frank to keep that pace, but that's good to see that he's got that going for him. He's also had 9 shots on goal over the last 3 games, so not that he's not trying, just things haven't been able to really fall for him in his return yet, but I think he's still been having some pretty good outings, and now you see with him being paired with Connor Bedard, that'll be an interesting duo to play with and see how they work together. I know Scott Powers pointed it out today that last season Bedard and Nazar played a combined 253 minutes and change at 5-on-5, and their analytics weren't great. They had a 41.54 expected goals percentage and a 40.91 actual goals percentage. So those numbers aren't great, but again, last season was a different team than this season as far as results and analytics go. It'll be interesting to add into the fact that it's Teuvo Teravainen that's also on their wing as a trio. Bedard and Teravainen, they haven't really had a lot of run time together either since both of them have been with the Blackhawks. And it was interesting yesterday hearing from Connor Bedard. I know we played it on the show, but it was interesting yesterday hearing him talk about playing with Teuvo and how their styles match up, and he kind of had the side comment of like, yeah, I played 9 or 10 games with Teuvo and then didn't get to play with him after that, and just kind of felt like, I expected to play more with Teuvo. And I think when Teuvo joined the team, I think there was a expectation amongst the fan base that he would be a guy that would be paired with Bedard and would help him kind of move along his career in his second season into the third season, and we haven't really seen that duo all that much. So this will be another game where we'll see how it works. And you heard from Jeff Blashill yesterday. We also played that on the show yesterday, talking about letting some of these line changes that he's made have some time to breathe, be able to see if they garner some results. You can't just be changing things game after game after game, shift after shift, and making, adjustments on the fly. If you do that too much, you're going to fall into the traps that the Blackhawks of the last 2 seasons have had, where I think Greg was tracking it last year. Connor Bedard had about 60 different line combinations that he played with last season. So you need to be able to have a little bit of continuity, and we've seen that for the most part this season. But just in recent games, recent weeks, a lot of things have been shifting around. So maybe this lineup that we see these guys playing, we see them run for a few games, at least tonight and Thursday and probably Friday as well, as they play back-to-backs as they get closer to the Olympic break. Just giving these changes a little bit of time to breathe and see if it garners any results. The other thing that you want to look for tonight, as you do most nights, but it's special teams, and the Blackhawks special teams this season have been really good. Considering where they're at in the standings and the results that we've seen. Their power play is ranking near in the top third of the league this season. But they've been on a rough stretch. 0 for their last 17, and these stats provided by Charlie Romeliotis yesterday via Natural Stat Trick. In 32 minutes and 37 seconds of power play time over their last 17 opportunities, they only have 14 shots on goal, 21 scoring chances. They've only generated 8 high danger chances for, and they've allowed 5 high danger chances against over their last 17 power plays, including a shorthanded goal given up, and only a 2.15 expected goals rate over their last 17 power plays. That's not great. Along with the lineup changes that we've seen changes on the power play as well. Andrei Burakovsky's no longer on the top unit. So, he's been a guy that we've been talking about recently, changing his role, changing his responsibilities, maybe simplifying his game a little bit more, cutting down on the turnovers. That's also part of what goes into the power play as well. You heard Jeff Blashill talk about it in the pregame just a couple of minutes ago, where, the zone entries haven't been great, and Burakovsky's a guy that loves to carry the puck in to the offensive zone. So if you're working on finding some simplicity in your game, maybe it's less carrying the puck and a little bit more of chipping and chasing. Now, I know that that's not the most fun style of hockey to watch, but if you're looking to change things up, the Blackhawks are a carry the puck in style of power play, have that style on their power play zone entry. Maybe that's a mindset shift that we might see tonight. And you might be able to take advantage of the Wild this season. They are 27th on the penalty kill this year in the league, 76.3%. On the other side, the Blackhawks penalty kill is number 1 in the league right now at 85.5%. They've killed 11 straight penalties, and for the month of January, they've killed 30 of 32 penalty kills against them. So they've been doing really well on the penalty kill. It's been really effective. It's been great to see both the goaltending they've been getting on the penalty kill. Spencer Knight and Arvid Soderblom's have some in some of his recent performances. When killing a penalty, he's come up with some big saves. Spencer Knight's been doing that all season, and guys like Oliver Moore and Ilya Mikheyev and Jason Dickinson, they've been featured on the PK a lot, and obviously getting Teuvo back as well. That helps the penalty kill have as many healthy bodies and guys available to play that role and get work on the PK. They've been really effective, and honestly, Mikheyev's effectiveness on the PK this season has been really a bright spot, and something that's really stood out that I think is starting to garner some attention league-wide as we get closer to the trade deadline. And we know that he's on an expiring contract, and he's the type of player and the type of style of player that contending teams want to have. As much as I think it would be beneficial for the Blackhawks to bring him back on a short-term deal, you might be in a spot where, if you're looking to open up roster spots, as Kyle Davidson has kind of talked about with this group moving forward and getting the young guys opportunities to play, as much as it might be nice to have a player like Mikheyev, you might be looking at striking while he's hottest with a team looking to add some role players, and you might be able to get something nice back from him. So we'll see how that goes. Blackhawks penalty kill is going to be tested tonight. The Wild at 24.2% is 7th in the league on the power play. Want to get a couple chats in here. Any Madhouse Meek asking, do you have any predictions about who may replace the open Canada spot, or do you think it will be a last-minute decision? That's the Braden Point spot. I know Connor Bedard's name has been in that conversation. I don't think since he's been back from the injury, he's done enough to be back to the guy that he was before the injury. As Blackhawks fans, we're well aware of that. Team Canada is obviously monitoring that as well. I don't think he's going to be the guy that's going to take that spot. I don't know who will. I think, you talk about maybe Sam Bennett could be a guy that takes that spot. But I think Canada's got a tough decision, and maybe they do wait it out to see if Braden Point is able to come back. But it'll be interesting to see how that goes with Canada needing some replacements. So that'll do it for the pregame show. We're getting here. It's 7:00. Puck drop is just minutes away. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to like the video. We will be with you for the postgame. Back to Full Strength with Jay back here after the final horn. Yes, Chloe?
What is your score prediction?
What's that?
What's your score prediction?
8-0 Blackhawks.
Perfect.
Let's go for it. Let's have a wild night.
Bet on that on Bet365
yes,
right
go to
now.
Bet365 and take it from me. Bet the over. No, it'll be. I'm just hoping for a good game. I think this is a team that's going to be a tough test and a line of tough tests that they've had. But it's not out of the realm of possibility with these line changes that things could click. You might see an offensive jump, and hopefully we're talking about a positive result at the end of tonight. So thank you for watching the CHGO Blackhawks pregame show, and we will see you for the postgame show later tonight.
We all silly like the mayor.